It's November, which is my birthday month, and to let you know me and my taste in movies a bit better, I thought it'd be fun to list off some of my favorite movies that are based on TV shows. Again, just like a lot of these lists, these are in no particular order, it's just 10 of them. Also, the rule is the show had to have come first. If it was a movie that was later spun off into a show, that doesn't count. So, let's get started. Number 10, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek Trilogy. I could never really get into the old Star Trek. I tried watching a few episodes, never really got into it. Never really got into the old movies that much either, but I loved the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. Took an old TV show and I guess old movies that I got in a bit of a soured reputation in later years and rebooted it and made it fresh while still honoring what came before. I love these movies. They put a big grin on my face every time I watch them. Number 9, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Now, I never saw the show that this is based on, so I can't speak for its accuracy to the show, but the movie on its own is fun. It has the 1960s aesthetic while still being modern and well-paced enough to keep interest. The entire cast is great. I'm still hoping we eventually get a sequel to this. Number 8, Mission Impossible. Taking our theme of spy shows from the 60s that got big screen adaptations, Mission Impossible is one of those movies that took an old show, brought it to the big screen in the best way possible. In some aspects, yes, the first film is a bit dated, but the computer hacking scene in that movie, which goes on for like 15 minutes, still holds your attention. Second one's awful, but the third one, which I guess continues our theme of J.J. Abrams being brought in to fix a dead franchise, was awesome, as were the other movies that came after it. Number 7, Get Smart. I swear this is the last spy show from the 60s turned into a movie that's on this list. But yeah, this movie's fun. Steve Carell's hilarious, the characters are well written, it's serious enough to not be parody, but also campy enough to not be too serious. It's just the right amount of both. Number 6, the SpongeBob SquarePants Movie. The first one. This was supposed to be the series finale for the show, and frankly I wish it had been, because everything after this went way downhill. But as an intended series finale, it pays off in the best way. It's a big screen adventure that still has the tone and humor of the show. Number 5, Rugrats Go Wild. This is actually based off of 2 TV shows at once, Rugrats and Wild Thornberrys. I was about 5 or 6 when this movie came out, and it was this huge event. Now, Nick, before this point, had crossed over other shows before with things like the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour TV special and some of their commercials. Sometimes characters would interact with each other, but never to a movie of this scale, never to a big theatrically released movie. The characters and plot lines of the 2 worlds mesh very well, and the songs in it are fantastic. Number 4, The Muppet Movie. Because yes, The Muppet Show came first. I know there are 8 of these and quite a few other TV movies, but I chose The Muppet Movie simply because it's the first one. They took a variety sketch show made by puppets and made a movie about how they got together with tons of self-aware, fourth-wall-breaking humor, celebrity cameos, and a pretty decent plot. Number 3, Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I can already hear everybody booing. I know everyone's going to skewer me for this, because the show has an extremely bad reputation, and in some ways I'm right there with you, but if you actually watch this movie, it's quite smart. It's the same level of writing and humor as the Lego movies, and it's aware that the show it's based on is hated, so it really makes fun of how much people hate it. DC also makes fun of themselves and a lot of the problems people have with their other movies, like Batman v Superman, and also just the oversaturation of movies in general, the oversaturation of the superhero movies in the market. It's brutally and mercilessly satirized, and it's hilarious. Number 2, the ATeam. This very corny show from the 80s with a bigger budget, all-star cast, and a fantastic plot. It's a lot of fun. It's exciting, it's well-written, and it's very well done. And number 1 is Serenity, the movie based on a cult classic show called Firefly that was canceled after only 14 episodes, gains this massive following, and wraps everything up a few years later with this movie. And it is the ending the show Firefly deserves. It's fun, has a great story behind it, the action is very well stylized, the cast works off each other very well, and I don't agree with some of the choices they made in terms of the ending, but it was still very satisfying as an ending to Firefly. So it comes in at number 1. Like I said, there's no particular order anyway, but I'd still say Serenity deserves to be number 1 just because of the history behind the show it's based on. So go ahead and share your list of shows based off of, or of movies based off of TV shows, and I will see you next time.